My name's Hilary Cass. I'm a paediatrician specialising initially in children with disability. I spent a large part of my career in policy. I was involved in medical education, and also I was president of the Royal College of Paediatrics and Child Health. Initially, NHS England asked me to do a very focused piece of work last year to just look at the published evidence on the hormones that are used for children and young people with gender dysphoria. But it rapidly became apparent that there were much broader problems in the whole care of children, from when they first question their gender right through to those who need medical treatment. From the moment I started just looking at the very simple task of looking at the published evidence, I've just become increasingly worried about the numbers of young people in distress, on a waiting list, not getting the appropriate services, at risk, and that's not okay. It's just not acceptable. First of all, there's going to be a lot of listening to everybody who has experience, either as a young person, a family member, or a professional in the field. Secondly, we're going to be reviewing the existing evidence. And thirdly, we're going to be filling, as best we can, gaps in that evidence with our own research. And then we have to bring all those strands together through a series of consensus roundtables to get some answers. Well, the whole process is going to take longer than anybody would like, but I don't think we should get too hung up about the final end point. What's going to be important is that the service will keep developing and growing in the interim. Now, I know that feels a bit like building a plane while it's in flight, but nonetheless, I think we will have some early recommendations, and we will share those as soon as we can. It's really important that we hear the lived experience of young people and their families, and indeed some of the older people who've already been through the service. But we also want to hear from professionals about their worries and anxieties about how to support these young people. And then there'll be more formal ways to get involved in our research, in roundtable discussions, and in consensus discussions and service planning. So many different options along the route of the review. Well, I think everybody knows that this is an area in which there are incredibly strongly held views, and the debate can get very toxic because of that. People are actually afraid to talk openly, and we have to find a way to allow them to do so in a safe environment. Ultimately, we've got to find a way to put the animosity aside, to come to a shared consensus, and to find the best possible way forward for children and young people and their families.